Hi, I'm Katy Jean. Happy spooky season! I'm so excited. It's October. I love October. People start wearing fishnets. They talk about dead people. They go to cemeteries. Everyone becomes me for a month, and it's awesome. It's the one time that being weird isn't as weird or worrying or concerning or anything like that. Everyone likes it. So I'm very excited for October, and I'm at Tufts Cove Cemetery, one of my favorite cemeteries today. I did my first saltwire story on this cemetery. Gary Murphy takes care of it. He actually restored the whole thing. It's an incredible place. If you can ever go, stop by. It's really good for kids because it's entirely fenced in, so they can just like run around. You're not going to hurt anything. They love to be visited. It's funny. Speaking of being visited, so I do a lot of research like in the Nova Scotia Archives. And by the way, they're not affiliated with this. I just wanted to tag them so they get some attention. But I do a lot of research on their records. They have birth, marriage, death records are the ones I use the most. And going through a lot of death records, sometimes you find weird ones, and I saved them. I have a hoard of death records, of oddities, weird ways to die, notable ways to die, bad ways to die. I just save them because, I think, oh, I'll make a story of this later, and then I just don't usually. But anyway, I have whole documents like this. This is what I'm talking about this week. This is my favorite one. So yeah, for the month of October, I'm going to go through my favorite death records I found at the Nova Scotia Archives and with the visited. If you follow me on Twitter, you see once in a while I'll share a death record or a birth record or something, and you'll know my favorite cause of death is Visitation of God, which just means you drop dead. We don't know how you died. You were alive and then you weren't. You weren't bleeding, you didn't vomit, you just, you went 100 to 0. It happens. My friend died in last June. She just dropped dead. Well, it was a pulmonary embolism, but like, in the 1800s, she would have just dropped dead. It was a visitation of God. She was an atheist. We talked about it a lot, so that's kind of funny. Okay. Anyway, with Visitation of God, since everyone knows that's my favorite, I've gone one step further with a curious case of Visitation of God. So these are from 1866 in Broad Cove, Inverness, Cape Breton. Let that plane go over. I don't know with my mic if it even matters, but sounds like a Cessna. Yeah, that's Cessna. I like those. Anyway, 1866 Broad Cove. You have right here, and I'm going to link these two so you can check them out yourself, but there's Visitation of God for 3 people. Now, if you go a little bit further into the records, there's 3 Visitation of Gods. Now, I do notice Visitation of God mostly happens in Cape Breton. Religious bunch. Also, not a lot of doctors around then. You were lucky if you got a consistent priest in some areas of Cape Breton. But, you were alive, then you weren't Visitation of God. You weren't sick before. We're just going to write it down. Now, obviously, it's a little bit suspicious when you have 6 Visitation of Gods, like, within a few pages. Is the medical examiner lazy? I've seen that on other records and just been like, dead. That's your job to find out why they are dead. But what makes this weirder is this family is all McClellans. You can see these two were twins. They were infants and sad. And a 72-year-old with the last name McClellan. Now this, they're not all McClellans, but they're all in their 70s. However, their reported deaths are by the same M. McClellan. So I'm going to go on a limb here. And I'm going to say it wasn't a visitation of God. I think M. McClellan was visiting people, okay? The same guy just... You're telling me the same guy showed up to 6 people and they just all dropped it. They just... I showed up and there was just dead bodies. I don't know how it happened. That's so weird. I just keep showing up to bodies over and like 6 times. So I think the cause of death here is actually visitation by McClellan. Mystery solved. I'll have to look into that more. But yeah, Visitation of God is a day of death records in October. Thank you.